Hey guys, today we're going to start our second to last unit. Unit 13 is on the animal kingdom. It's quick, it's real quick. We're going to start with invertebrates. So you need to print the packet or just follow along in your notes. I attached it. I'll attach it next to this video. And then yeah, we should be able to finish this, I would say, by the end of the week or early next week for sure. Okay, so let's get started. Okay, so we've moved from a plant kingdom to the animal kingdom. So an animal is multicellular. It's a eukaryote, meaning it has cell organelles in the nucleus. Heterotroph, so it ingests food. Cells do not have cell walls, and it can be grouped by the presence or absence of a backbone. Invertebrates do not have a backbone. Invertebrates do have a backbone. Animal functions can be grouped into these different things. And based on their characteristics here, that's how we separate them into phylum. So feeding, respiration, circulation, excretion, response, movement, and reproduction. Okay, so body symmetry. Every animal except for sponges exhibits some form of symmetry. So radial symmetry is the picture right here. It's like a circular symmetry. The body parts extend from a central point like a wheel. Bilateral symmetry, you can cut it in half and we have the same things on both sides, like humans. Okay, so let's label the types of symmetry. So this one is bilateral. Same thing on both sides after you cut it in half. A coral polyp has radial symmetry, so it's kind of like a circular wheel, and a sponge has no symmetry. Hold on, bud. Cephalization is the concentration of sense organs at the front of the body. It is often called the head. Typical in animals with bilateral symmetry, and it allows animals to respond to the environment more quickly. Okay, so now we're going to get into the different phylum of invertebrates and talk about their characteristics and their functions. So you will recognize some of these because it was in our class, they were in our classification lab. Okay, so the first one is porifera. This means pore bearer, like the word means pore bearer. Sponges have no symmetry, or porifera have no symmetry. They provide a habitat for marine animals. They often live attached to the sea floor, which means they're sessile, so like they don't move. An example is a sea sponge. Alexa, turn the timer on. Okay, the different functions. In terms of feeding, they are filter feeders. They just sift particles from the water. They have intracellular digestion, meaning that digestion occurs inside the cells. Respiration, circulation, and excretion are all done by movement of water through the body. It just diffuses through the body. And then response system, there's no nervous system. And some can produce toxins for defense, but the main thing is they don't have a central nervous system. Reproduction can be sexual or asexual. Okay, next one, Cnidaria. So Cnidaria are soft-bodied. They have radial symmetry. So imagine like a central part here, and it has symmetry around a wheel. They're carnivorous. They have stinging cells, cnidocytes, and the example is jellyfish. The Cnidaria functions, feeding, they have a digestive chamber with one opening. Respiration, circulation, and excretion are still involving diffusion across the body wall. Response, they have a loosely organized network of nerve cells, so a nerve net is what it's called. Movement, they can have a hydrostatic skeleton, which helps them move, and that is fluid-filled cavity surrounded by muscles. And then reproduction can be sexual or asexual. What's going on in there? Okay, well, come out here and get some food. Groups of cnidarians include jellyfish, hydra. I said pointed there, but jellyfish are here. Hydra, sea anemones, and coral. Platyhelminthes characteristics. So this is the next one. These are soft, flattened worms. They have tissues and internal organ systems, no coelom. A coelom is a hollow, fluid-filled body cavity that cushions the internal organs, so they do not have that, they're flat. They're the simplest animal with 3 embryonic germ layers. They have bilateral symmetry, you can cut them right down the center. They have cephalization. An example would be a tapeworm. So remember, cephalization is like the development of like a central nervous system. Okay. Platyhelminthes functions in terms of feeding. They are carnivores or scavengers. In terms of respiration, circulation, and excretion, they use body surfaces for respiration and circulation. They use flame cells, which are specialized cells that remove water and metabolic waste. Response, they have several nerves concentrated in the head, and they have an eye spot, which detects changes in light. Movement, they have cilia and muscles. Reproduction is sexual or asexual. And additionally, they can be hermaphrodites, and that means they have both male and female reproductive parts. Okay, groups of platyhelminthes. They are, sorry, I was distracted. Tubularians, flukes, and tapeworms. Flatworms can also be considered parasites. So like a flea larva will lay eggs. It matures. This is not an example of a flatworm, but basically the pet eats the flea, the parasite larva migrates to small intestine where they mature, and then the eggs are shed in the feces. Okay, nematoda characteristics. They are slender, unsegmented, with tapering ends. They can be free-living or parasitic. They have a pseudocoelom, and they have a digestive tract with 2 openings, so meaning they have a mouth and an anus. An example is a roundworm. You guys! Okay. Oh my gosh, my children are going crazy. Okay. I skipped all the way ahead. Okay. I think we were on roundworm functions. In terms of feeding, they can be carnivores, herbivores, or scavengers. Respiration, circulation, excretion, you have exchanges through the body wall. Response, there is a simple nervous system. Movement, you have muscles along the length of the body. And then reproduction is sexual, and they have individual sexes. Okay, I think I'm gonna do, well, we have one more thing on nematodes, and then I'm gonna do annelids also. Okay, nematodes can be parasites. These are 4 different ones. Trichinella burrows into intestinal or internal organs, and it can cause pain. Filarial worms block lymph vessels and cause severe swelling, like this picture. You can have worms that cause malnutrition, or hookworms suck blood and cause poor growth. Okay, so this will be the last one for today. Annelid characteristics, they have a segmented body. Segments are divided by internal walls called septa. They have a true coelom, and the example is an earthworm. Annelid functions, feeding, they have specialized structures for food storage and food grinding. So food storage is held in the crop, and grinding is in the gizzard. Circulation, they have blood vessels. They have blood contained in vessels, so it is called a closed system. Respiration uses their moist skin. Excretion, they have specialized excretory organs called nephredia. Response, well-developed nervous system. Movement, they have two major muscle groups. Reproduction is sexual. This is just a picture of a closed versus open circulatory system. So we'll talk about open tomorrow, later when we talk about arthropods. And then this is a closed system where you have like blood vessels and stuff like that. This one, they don't. Okay, groups of annelids. Earthworms are like the most commonly thought of ones, but I think at least. Leeches, marine annelids like the sandworm. Okay, so I think let's just call it a day there, and then we'll finish up invertebrates tomorrow.